Thank you for listening to the Intramural League. If you're listening to the show and you think that we're amateurs, you're right. If you're listening to the show and you think that we're professionals, you're right as well. We're the amateur professionals. Welcome to the Intramural League. Welcome back to the Intramural League. I go by the name Johnny Will.
This is Nationwide Nate.
Cartier King cashing in.
And we have an OG, the original local legend, and the founder of the local legends, my guy Chuck. Welcome
That's
to the
me,
show,
though.
Chuck. Welcome to the show, man.
What's up, family?
And I know you tuned in last week, but real quick before we
Not
dive
just
in,
last week, every week now. Come on.
I like the sound of that. I appreciate that. Now we have a beer challenge going on that I want to get into first and foremost. So the guy sitting next to me, Cartier, claims that he could tell the difference between a Coors Light, Miller Lite, and a Bud Light. And you told me before the show you wanted to jump in this challenge as well.
Yeah.
Now, I'm beyond. I ain't got faith in either one of y'all.
I mean, you ain't gotta have faith. Like they say, bro, you ain't gotta be scared to get your ass whooped.
He claims to be
They
a
say
beer
that?
connoisseur. I don't know who say that, but he made it up, right? So go ahead, man. I marked the cups, and we're gonna put this on YouTube as well and the page.
So we got what? We got A, B, and C?
We got A, B, and C.
All right. This is A. Let me see here.
And why you sipping that, Chuck? Man, tell me about it. So, how did the local legends come about? I thought it was a great idea.
Thank you.
And number one, I didn't know you was the founder.
Yeah.
But a round of
Yeah.
applause to you, man.
You ain't got no round of applause.
He got the-
sound effect.
He got some-
There it is. Make some noise for that.
So what sparked the idea?
But you know what, man? It's funny. I'm glad, but thank you for the acknowledgement. It started back in 2012. My classmates and I were looking for a fundraiser for our class reunion, and what everybody was talking about was doing like a battle of the classes basketball game, and I was like, okay, that's cool, but we got a lot of talent that came out of Dunbar. So, if you know anything about Dunbar, everybody is tight. You can graduate in 2001
Absolutely, yeah.
and be tight with somebody from class of 2008. It's just how it works. Like, there's something about that blue. So I'm talking to my classmates about some things, and then me and Darren Powell are real tight. We went to elementary school together or whatever. And then I have a real good relationship with Daquan, too. Daquan Cook.
Jefferson.
And I'm just saying names so people can, have a point of reference.
Yeah.
Me and Daquan are cool, too. So what I'm thinking is, okay, if we do a battle of the classes, maybe Daquan can be like our special guest host. So then my brain keeps running and running and running. I'm like, wait a minute. If Daquan's in town, if he's the special guest host, maybe we can try to get Daquan to play.
Right.
So we come up with a date for this thing. So I talked to Darren, and Darren was like real receptive, like, yeah, man, he'll do it, whatever, just keep me posted on things. So me and Darren get to talking, and it's like, wait a minute. This battle of the classes thing, and I'm going to be frank, and I mean, I'm not, shitting on my classmates and nothing like that, because they brought the idea to my attention. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, ain't nobody trying to see no washed-ass dudes out here playing basketball.
Right. It's serious, though.
Serious. When we watch basketball, we want to see high-level basketball. We want to see good talent. So I was just like, all right, Pete, what if we did like an all-star game with people who got like a name recognition in the city? So it's getting closer to the time Norris's camp is going on. So Norris's camp is going on, and I think this is after Norris won his first championship. So everybody's happy to see Norris. And ironically, Daquan was playing on the opposing team. This was Daquan was with the Thunder. So we got two guys that just played in the finals. All right, cool. So these guys are going to be the headliners of the event. So
Absolutely.
we're going to put Cook against Cole on two different teams. My classmates were like, all right, cool. And in my class, we had two guys that was pretty good. That was Lou Leslie and Ty Sellers. So we're going to put them on there, too, because it's a fundraiser for the class reunion. So the brain just keep running and running and running. And as I'm selling it to everybody, Daquan, I'm like, yo, I know you're a philanthropic dude. I know I said that word wrong, but you're a guy who I'm black. Sorry. But you a guy that likes to give back. So how about
He the new Nationwide Nate. That's what he is.
He got
I'm
that
like-
1.0. That's all you did.
Man, we're going to talk about that one, man. Hey, when I was at Dunbar, I had no 1.0. But as we start, like, just forming ideas and things are just starting to mushroom, I'm like, yo, what if we made this a part of your scholarship foundation, too? In conjunction with my class reunion. Daquan was like, all right, cool, I'm with it. Like, DP handles all the details. Y'all two run with it. So then we just start cold calling guys like, hey, you know him? He can go. Hey, he can go. Hey, let's call him. He can go. He can go. And as it went on, we got like a bunch of guys that can go. So then we found a venue. Ironically, Dunbar was booked for like the class of 83's reunion or something like that.
Damn, 83.
Right. I forgot what class it was.
He's like 83. We got to bump y'all real quick.
But they said we're using the gym, so we found another spot. So we ended up getting Stivers because our guy Sean McCullough was a coach over there at the time.
Okay.
And he was like, yeah, man, y'all can go ahead and use Stivers. Just get a custodian, this, and this, and we can do that. And DP, he works in the DPS system, so we made that work. 6 years later, we got probably the best all-star type game in the city. We didn't do it this year, but I got another play I'm working on too.
I can say I only was able to make it to a handful of them, but one, y'all was even able to get out about billions. He even joined. He ain't a good basketball player like he is a boxer.
He's not a bad basketball player, but he brought people
was
out
quick,
there, though. And that's the thing, though, man. It goes back to, it's not what you know, it's who you know, who knows you at the same time. So a buddy of mine is a party promoter, and we talk about that one, too. He's a party promoter from Cincinnati. So I gave him a call, like, hey, you know AB's people? He's like, yeah. I said, well, can you put me in contact with him? And he put me in contact with 6'4", who's also known as Rayvon Lil John. That's like AB's like business manager. Gotcha. Or for those who watch Entourage, he's heir to Vince, to Adrian's Vince. So he's the person who...
Or if you watch Ballers, he's Reggie.
Yes, but he has a little bit more sense than Reggie. So I hollered at 6'4", and 6'4" was like, yeah, he's not in camp right now. He'd do it for this amount of money. So me and DP run things past each other, and, that's how we landed AB. But we've landed guys, of course, Norris, Daquan, Chris Wright, who's played in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, they had me, but my voicemail.
I mean, we've got, the world-famous DJ Bandcamp. Who else have we got to play in this game? Chris Wright. Josh Benson, like a lot of guys who went to Dunbar or who have been nice in the city and came back and played. And we had like Joe Ballard, and Joe Ballard's now playing for Harlem Globetrotters.
Nice.
Okay. So like our alumni base is really crazy as far as guys who played in the local Legends game. So my ideal was the first time make a fundraiser for my class reunion, and that thing just grew. Like year 2, we like, okay, we're gonna do a back to school drive.
Yeah, because I noticed that it was presented initially like it was just like a basketball game, but then when you go, you see that there's a scholarship, given, and it just turned into a nice foundation.
Not a scholarship, scholarships.
Scholarships.
We put an S on that.
So I want to get into what else you got coming up, but for now, I want you to go ahead and join this beer challenge. Okay. I think I got Cartier's answers. So what do you think, man? We got them labeled A, B, and C. You. Did you write them down? Did you remember?
Nah, I didn't. I remember.
Okay.
But here we go again, me and this guy.
What?
You can want me to scream out my answers and
like
Chuck
the
over
quizzes?
Here. Yeah, because I can't say them, and then it affects his answer.
So you think he gonna cheat?
No, but I'm saying you can't
I get what
give
you're saying,
your answer and the other person.
While he's drinking though, I want to know.
I'll just type it into my
No,
man.
While he's drinking and tasting, I want to get into our club bangers. So I was listening to some music and I was on my throwback playlist, and it just brought me back to the pregame. So what was your favorite go-to song as far as like, and with Chuck being here, he one of the first college parties that I went to up at Ohio State, and that was an amazing night. You walked away with a polo vest that night.
Hey.
but what would be a go-to song for you, man?
Oh, man. It was so many, man. I mean, it's like, I don't know how throwback you want to go. But man, Nate just brought it out of me. Photo shoot, dog. Gucci photo shoot was the anthem as far as in therapy, therapy cafe, and what other Gucci song?
I broke
Bricks,
mine down.
Bruh.
Bricks was a hot one. I broke mine down into to categories. So if I'm at the crib pregame and getting ready to go out, then I'm probably throwing on Gorilla Zoe Lost. That puts you in the
really
yeah. Gorilla Zoe Lost. And then next thing you know, you just vibing and sipping, and then you throw on Lil Wayne Beat Without Bass because you only listen to his verse. You don't care what Freaky Zeke got to talk about. But then when you in the club, I don't care what college party you went to, when you hear this.
Hello.
My guy G's, he turned it all the way up, and I almost got up out this seat right now, did it down the way. So Chuck, what was your go-to song, man?
You know what? When you said pregame, I'm thinking, Intramural League. We talk about.
He said a shoot around.
Right. But the first song that came to mind to me was like No More Playing GA. I'm gonna go pregame. Like when I was young, throw the headphones on with that bass, with them gunshots in the background. We're not promoting violence here, but it's like you just hear that, man. Like Pastor Troy did it, and this is like an anthem. And actually, your brother put everybody on to this song. It was your brother and Shane.
He said drummer left, right, left.
Right.
Got it.
That one too. Nope.
That
it was
will.
a Lil Jon and Eastside Boys and Too Short. Couldn't be a better player.
Okay.
Couldn't be a better player.
Yeah, you did go back on.
So I'm a little older than y'all.
Yeah.
But those were the ones. But like right now, what I'm going to, like present day, Mask Off.
Oh, yeah. Obviously. Obviously, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to as far as like my pregame.
So before we move on to the first quarter and talk about Ohio State, your alumni, I want to get y'all answers in regards to this beer challenge. Y'all not competing against each other. Y'all just competing to see if y'all can actually figure this out. So A, B, or C, what's your answer?
Who you want to go first?
I want you to go first. It was your challenge initially.
A, 100% Bud Light.
All right, so you said A is Bud Light.
B, Miller Lite. C, Coors Light.
Hold up real quick.
Okay. All right, so the one that I thought
you definitely Coors Light.
The one I thought you was gonna get wrong, you got wrong. I told you was probably gonna figure out. No, I actually thought you was gonna figure out Coors and going to get Bud Light, Miller Lite mixed up. So A is Coors Light.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Where'd you get this beer?
C is Bud Light, and then B is Miller Lite. So the beer connoisseur is not the connoisseur at all.
All right, go ahead and pass the rest of them beers also.
Pass the rest of them beers also. Coming up in the first quarter, we talking Ohio State. They escape with a win, but should their slow start be a concern? We'll talk more.
Players on the floor, crowds on their feet. The first quarter starts now.
Ohio.
So the Buckeyes kicked off college football versus Indiana, and they escaped with a win of 49-21. I know that seems like a blowout.
That's not an escape.
That don't sound like an escape to me.
but if you watch the game in the first quarter, I would say that, hey, man, it wasn't that championship football that you thought you would see. And I said this last week, that if there was going to be a game that you were concerned about, it'll be this one. Not that Ohio State is not good enough to win, and like I said, I'm rooting for Ohio State as well, but there were some changes within the offensive coordinator, and then you have JT, who looks like he's no longer the mobile quarterback he once was. And walking and running out here with a flat tire. So that would be the game you would be concerned about because they got to figure things out. And we saw that with that slow start. So is there concern? Chuck, I don't
think there's concern. And I preface this by saying, like, my alumni base can be very rabid and very irrational. I like to pattern myself as a rational Ohio State fan. However, I don't think there's cause for concern. A, it's the first game of the season. So you're gonna be a little tight for a while. And then B, the past 4 years, Indiana has played us really, really tough. I don't know how.
That's what I'm saying.
And Indiana they used to have like mid-major D1 talent. Like they're getting like guys there now, and they're investing in football. So we can't take that into account. Like the Big Ten is starting to transform. It's no longer, as they call it, and I know they have 14 teams in the league, the Big Two and Little Eight. Like it's a league that's pretty solid. And as more big-name coaches, i.e. P.J. Fleck going to Minnesota, as more bigger-name coaches.
Row that boat.
I just want to hear him say, who's the Big Two?
Big Two? Oh, man, Ohio State and just... You know what? Now it's this team that wears maize and blue, but for a while, it was the team that wore green and white.
Yeah.
But Penn State is starting to come back too. Mm-hmm. But going back to the question, I don't think it's cause for concern. I mean, Ohio State had to get it going. But one thing that does kind of concern me is I noticed with JT was this. If you're not wide open, he's not going to pass you the ball. I think he's a little gun shy. I don't know.
Saying that.
I don't know why. It's just he don't have that moxie that he used to, man. Like if you're not wide open, that ball is not coming to you. But then again, you got to have receivers that put confidence in you. I mean, he threw a dime to Paris Campbell and he dropped
in the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, it's 6.
But he threw a duck to Marcus Ball. And he was wide open. So
what's the rule of receiving though? It hit your hands.
Hit your hands. You got to catch it.
Oh yeah, I definitely feel that.
I mean, and Paris Campbell was in stride too.
Right. Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know. He just lost the ball. He mistracked it. It happens to all of us.
But defensively, we lost a lot, and that D line was lights out last week.
I don't know how many Bosas they got, but they got another one, and he was tearing through things.
Yeah, that front seven is really, really good.
I'm gonna tell you who impressed me out the D line the most, because we know what Bosa and Hudberg is going to bring, and Tyquan Lewis,
Landers.
Jay-Sean Cornell. Mm-hmm. He was killing in that game. And he only played like maybe 25 snaps, but every snap he's in the backfield.
I mean, I'm not impressed because he was the number one player in the country at a point in time. So, he's doing what he's supposed to do.
So that back three played really good too. Worley had a pretty nice night, and then Booker played really good too. Booker's really, really good. He doesn't really get the recognition that he probably should have. And then you losing 5, Raekwon McMillan. So you losing 5 off the field. I mean, that guy was always everywhere.
Yeah.
So Nationwide, you had some comments about JT Baird, and I want you to enlighten the show, man. What was your comment?
I don't see any growth in his game. But after watching the game, I had to take a step back and just kind of evaluate JT as a college football quarterback. He's a good college football quarterback. is going to go down as one of the great. He's going to set a lot of Big Ten records. He's not an NFL quarterback, and I just have to come to that realization.
But you know what? A lot of Urban's quarterbacks aren't NFL quarterbacks.
True that.
And then as far as Ohio State quarterbacks, I mean, I think we're all Ohio State fans at this table. It's not a school for quarterbacks.
True.
So when he leaves there, he's going to be a top 5 Ohio State quarterback off of what he's done the past 4 years.
Hang on though. So if JT Barrett is not an NFL quarterback, and yet he is running out there with a flat tire, what are we expecting him to do?
Okay,
like I said last week, he lost his job because he couldn't get the ball.
Tire thing, man.
Did you see him on an option play? He can't run anymore.
I mean,
You know what? As somebody who's had a surgery on their,
absolutely,
on their lower body,
that's the reason. I'm
you're
not saying he just.
Like I had knee surgery last year, and right now, like if you ask me to run 100 yards, I'm going to look at you crazy. I'm like, no.
I mean, but he didn't. I don't think he got a flat tire. Just to put that out there.
What I mean is he didn't connect downfield a lot either. And that's what's supposed to be the new offense.
See, but
in the second half of the game, he started getting better. He started getting some confidence in himself, and he started getting confidence in the receivers. And we know how this goes too. You win the game inside out. They started running the ball. Dobbins was punishing it, and things start opening up.
Exactly. But what I'm saying about JT though is that it's the first game of the season. They're overmatched by us, so it's almost like this is not the game to take those risks. It's no need to put us into a situation of desperation.
So when you say
we know
they're overmatched, who's overmatched?
Indiana was.
Okay.
And you're going to be vanilla,
right?
Versus
you're going to be vanilla against
the
the team that that you're supposed to beat and that you know you're going to beat. So it's no need for him to be a world beater and be throwing pretty much balls into danger for no reason.
No.
He was 20 of 35 for about 300 yards.
Hang on, let me rebuttal that a little bit because it's not about him not throwing it. He threw it. It just was not on target. Except for the one in the end zone. He was missing.
A lot of his passes.
He was missing.
A lot of his passes was off target. He the flag route Paris Campbell ran. He missed. Paris Campbell got his hands on the ball, but it's behind him and high. So I call that off on him. He missed Marcus Ball deep. He missed Marcus Ball on a flag. So a lot of his passes were off. And like you stated earlier, he don't throw the ball unless you're wide open. And by time, if you get open and he's still holding the ball, it's too late at that point because the defense is going to shift your way. You have to throw the ball out when they coming out there breaks. And JT doesn't do that. He doesn't throw any receivers open. And that's why I say I don't see any growth in his game.
Now, what's funny is he used to do that, but then again, he had guys that would get open. Like, he had Marshall that was shifty. He had Smith that could take a top off of a defense.
And and Thomas pretty much wasn't going to let you get the ball.
You know what's crazy about Thomas?
Thomas.
Right. People were really down on Thomas. Thomas ends up being a really, really, really good receiver.
Yeah, he was.
And you see that now as he's a top 15, I ain't gonna say 15, that's generous, but he's highly regarded in an NFL now. But he plays in the offense where he's gonna get the ball, but still.
He's a 3rd round fantasy pick.
The only thing
that's major.
Only thing about
that is. That's where we are in football these days.
What I say is you hear all these analysts continue to say that the receivers don't get open and they're not making plays and get separation. It's hard for me to believe that, they have 15 receivers on the roster and 10 of them at least are top 5 or 10.
But here's
receivers.
the thing, though. Benjamin is supposed to be an AJ Green type guy. Benjamin ain't showed me nothing in 2 years.
But it's hard for me to believe that these guys are overrated. Either you're not developing them or you're not giving them an opportunity to make plays.
When you look at the all 22 cam that they show on TV, bruh, nobody be open.
That's true. And
so is that on the receivers to get?
Yes.
All 4 of us to play football, and us 3 have played skill positions. If you get in the guy's chest, and if you can't get off,
he's not going to get open.
But no, but
exactly.
Part of that is on JT. I'm not going to necessarily put it on JT. Part of that is on the offense in general because if you watch the Indiana game in the first half, we was run first down, run second down. If we didn't get any yards, it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8.
Yeah, they dropping 8.
They dropping 8. Nobody's going to get open. So it's like throw the ball on first down. I think they got to that in the second half.
Yeah.
And that's why we got a lot of chunks.
So another question I have for y'all, though, is do Weber get his job back?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Dobbins had a really good game, don't get me wrong, but Weber's still your guy.
Weber ain't no scrub.
Hey, Weber is the guy. Like, I didn't understand why Ohio State went away from him late in the season last year because he always fell forward. Because
Ford was on fire.
Now, is it premature, though? Because you're looking at his body of work and saying he's that guy, but if he get out there and he's no longer what you thought he was.
But this is a game with like this too. 2 quarterbacks, you have none. But with 2 running backs, you're deadly. And those are kind of guys with different styles too. Yeah. Dobbins is more of a game breaker. Weber's just going to hit you in the mouth for 4 yards. 4 yards a pop, 4 yards a pop, 4 yards a pop. And then we're going to let Dobbins go take one for 60.
Yeah.
Could be like Minnesota back in the day was a Maroney and Barber.
Maroney, Barber, and gosh, what's the other? Gary Russell.
Yeah.
Like this game coming up, he's going to get his snaps. He's going to get his touches. Now, by the end of the year, we may see more touches go to JK, but at least he's going to have the opportunity to, continue to, I guess, win the job.
And you went on wax and said he's the best athlete, right?
You damn right.
But it's funny you said Barber from Minnesota because when you watch the Cowboys a few years ago, like, this, I mean, we got us playing football. When you have a lead, you want a back that can finish the game. Mm-hmm. And I'm going back to Antonio Pittman back in like that 06 team where you put the ball in Tony's hands, the game is over with. He might break one or he's going to give you 4 a pop. You put the ball in that guy's hands and you just kill
Weber?
the clock. Yep. And I think that's what Weber is.
Yeah.
So when you got a elite athlete in Dobbins, as you say, why go back to Weber?
Well, because, Weber, he earned his position. I don't feel like you lose your position due just to injury. You give him the opportunity to go out there and do what he was going to do. And then if he doesn't show up, then you play it by ear and go with JK. But, you definitely got to put him back out there. Like, he's a proven commodity.
Yeah,
like, he balled out last year. He had a stack.
Right.
And, as a freshman.
He was productive last year.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I just wanted the explanation. So before we get in the regular check it, I want to get a quick score from all of y'all. So Oklahoma Sooners versus the Buckeyes was the score. What you giving me? Come on now.
I'll go first. 41-24 Ohio State.
41-24. How do you come with that number?
41-24.
Ohio State's favorite number is 42. We scored that like 4 or 5 times the year we won the championship.
45.
So 42-21 Bucks.
37-24 Buckeyes.
I don't know how they come up with these scores, but I love them. Let's get in regular check. All right, so Nationwide, I'm coming at you first. So Lil B has warned Lonzo Ball and the Lakers with a curse on his rookie season and the Lakers' future, because Lonzo came out and said Nas ain't hip hop. So regular check it on that warning.
I'm gonna check it, man. We don't want no problems with the bass guy, man. Come on. Plus Lonzo tripping. How can you say Nas not hip hop? Come on, man.
Chuck, regular check it.
That's just a new guy speaking out of term, so I just ignore it and keep it moving. So we gonna wreck it.
Cartier?
I gotta check the warning for sure, man. I can't trust them light skins.
So Cartier, I'm coming at you. So in the Clemson season opener, the band gave a shout out to Ohio State. The band got in formation and shaped 31-0, which was a score to Old State game versus Clemson last season. Regular check it.
Man, first of all, the O that they formed was pretty atrocious. The best damn band in the land. Needs to teach them a few lessons, but it is what it is. You got to check it. It's a reminder of how terrible we played, and we won't see them in the championship.
I'm definitely checking it because we on their mind.
So it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? So